Welcome all. Welcome to ASC Calcitech webinar series. Today we will be going ahead with legacy protocol upgrade cards, which is SYNC200 series, which can be used in vendor devices which has got a primitive or a vendor related protocol already supported, and want to migrate on to 61850 or DNP3 or 104. Any latest protocol upgradation is needed, and using this card that upgradation is possible within 4 weeks time. So this is an upgrade. It is a board that is pluggable onto vendor device to enable the vendor device to have a protocol upgrade to latest protocols. And this is a worldwide used board, and we have more than 25,000 sales across the globe on this protocol upgrade card, especially for upgrading onto 61850. Moving on to today's agenda items. First, we are giving an overview of legacy protocol upgrade cards, followed by the integration workflow, how this integration and testing can be done with these cards. Then different modules onto the vendor device, how the different modules can be interfaced onto the vendor device, different interfacing options available, common protocol variants which we have supplied already, time synchronization option, how the device can be time synchronized using different time synchronization methodology. Then in order to enable the GOOSE timing requirement, how we can use a fast message GOOSE bus for getting a better timing, that is better faster transfer of the data which meets the GOOSE requirement. Then other features like PRP, sequence of event, disturbance record, security, etc. SYNC200 models and its variants, configuration interfaces, development boards, then different applications. So that is the agenda for today. Moving on to overview of SYNC200 series. So this is an OEM board, that is a board, it is supplied as board that can be used, that is internally pluggable to plugged onto the end product to enable the end product or vendor device to a standard protocol like 61850 or DNP3. EC integration, complete EC integration, you need to just interface this board onto the vendor interface. Then you have a Ethernet port output. Using that Ethernet port output can be exposed outside your vendor device, and that will be enabled with the latest protocol. Any protocol 61850, DNP3 or anything can be there on the output ports. Then network redundancy like PRP, teaming, bonding, everything is supported onto this. So if there are requirement for your devices to enable PRP, teaming, bonding, everything is supported by default. Then time synchronization features like a precision time protocol or IEEE 1588, SNTP or vendor the protocol specific time synchronization, all these are supported in the device. Then different interfacing options. It has got a standard way of interfacing, protocol, interfacing protocol or proprietary protocol. All protocol that are supported in sync devices, these OEM boards also will have the same protocol, and this can be used for interfacing the OEM board onto the device. Then customized configuration engine for integration. So this is having a standard configuration tool which is known as EC Connect, but there are provision to provide it as a DLL. So this can be interfaced with the vendor tools to enable it will be attached to the vendor tool itself and will be having all the similar look and feel as that of vendor tool. So this will be using an APIs and other interfaces are supported in the DLL, and this can be used along with the vendor tool for the protocol configuration management. Then GPIOs, general purpose IOs are supported, and up to 48 GPIOs are supported, and this can be directly associated with the direct IOs so that you can have a fast data transfer. This can be GPIOs can be directly associated with the GOOSE message, and fast messaging can be supported with this. Then this is a future proof, that is we are having a detailed library inside the SYNC protocol conversion engine. This library is applicable to OEM module. So whatever protocol we will be launching onto this library, adding onto this library, everything is available for the vendor device, and this can be just enabled with the protocol upgrade or licensing mechanism. So multiple server protocol can be there, like 61850, DNP3, 104 can support together, or any new protocol that is coming, we are coming up or launching in later years. These things can be easily supported with just a protocol update, with the firmware update. So this is completely future proof. For any future requirement of the protocol, this also will be very much suited for the device. Then we already have a certified stack which is for the SYNC devices, SYNC200 and 3000. We have certified it for the KEMA, and since this is a board, end device need to be certified for KEMA or any other certification. So we involve with the, if there is a requirement, we involve with the vendors and get the same certified for the 61850 and other protocol. So software 61850 certification or hardware 61850-3 certification, we can involve and support the vendor to get this certified for the device. That is one of the key advantage with this. Then premium integration support. We can have a detailed testing externally connecting your device with the development board, and once that is through, you can integrate your OEM module inside your device. So externally connecting your device, testing it out through the OEM board, our support will be involved, and we can have interaction with our hardware team directly, and they will be supporting you with the premium support for getting it integrated easily onto your device. So that is one of the key areas. Then moving on to integration workflow. So first thing is, you have a vendor IED, vendor device or a meter, and you want that device to have a latest protocol. For example, this vendor device support, for example, Modbus 103, etc., and you want to migrate it into 61850, DNP3 or DLMS, any other protocol. So first thing is, we are not recommending direct integrating OEM onto the device, because hardware interface and everything need to be defined. So before that, you have to familiarize with the things, and you should be extra sure that this solution works. So get our development board that contains the OEM module, and the development board has got RS-232 485 interface directly. So you can connect external using an external cable. Your vendor device can be connected onto the development board, and the OEM board, that is SYNC200 Ethernet port, can be directly connected to the computer with a protocol tester, and you can do a mapping from Modbus to 61850 and do the complete testing with your computer with the protocol tester or SCADA installed onto your computer, and every every data getting mapped from the vendor device to 61850. So you can do all the testing and ensure that this is completely working with respect to latest protocol. You are completely satisfied. Then take this OEM board out, plug it onto your device. So this is the OEM board. You have a TTL or I2C SPI interface for interfacing to your device. So take this OEM, put it into your device, internally plug it, and you will be now enabled with the latest protocol. All this testing, whatever you configuration you are done for this testing, can be directly embedded, that is available onto the OEM module, and that can be directly used inside your device to test the same out. So this is one of the key. And then this all integration, if you do dedicated, this all integration with our premium support can happen within 3 or 4 weeks. So key thing is your device or vendor device has got a preliminary or a primitive protocol or a proprietary protocol, and you can get it updated within 3 to 4 weeks to the latest protocol that is available, and that is future proof. Future, if you want another protocol, just updating the firmware, you will be getting new protocol supported onto the device. So this is one of the key integration workflow. It is very easy to integrate, very easy to do complete testing and enable this within 3 to 4. Now moving on to different OEM modules available. So we have a smaller one ranging from, that is small in terms of form factor, that is 221, and then bigger one 241. These are having single Ethernet port, and we have 261 with a dual Ethernet port, and 241 and 261 has got a add-on pluggable copper or fiber optic option for the Ethernet. So that can also be integrated onto the device to enable any of the latest protocol like 61850, DNP3, 104, etc. So depending upon your device, your form factor requirement, your mechanical side, you have multiple options, and if you want a dual Ethernet, you can go for 261, and that support even PRP protocol for the network redundancy. So these are different 200 models available for the complete integration process. Moving on to interfacing option. So as I mentioned, you have a TTL or GPIO data exchange interface option. So TTL, if you have a primitive protocol like Modbus or any other protocol, TTL interface you can connect. The TTL interface is the base interface from which you can derive RS-232 or 485. So that will have an add-on component, but directly you can connect the TTL port onto the OEM board device, and you can get it communicated with the Modbus and other protocol. But this is a slow transfer because it is a serial interface is used, and if you require a fast data transfer, direct general purpose IOs can be used, and up to 48 GPIOs are supported with a 3.3 volt signal, and with the level translators embedded onto your device, these IOs can be directly connected onto the 24 volt input output scenario, which is directly attached to the GOOSE publisher or subscriber. Then from the TTL, if there is a requirement, you can have it converted to RS-232 or 485 directly using a level converter. Maximum ICs are readily available for this conversion purpose. Then I2C and SPI options are also available for much faster data transfer, closely coupled data transfer, and this needs a vendor, your format need to be supported at our end. So this require development from our side, so that your format in I2C and SPI, whatever is there in your format, we can read it directly and update the database and make it available onto other protocols. Then GPIO, as I mentioned, fast GOOSE messages over the GPIO is very well supported. Then there is this module has got a kernel, Linux kernel, and it has got its own time parameters kept inside. But if you want an RTC, that is especially needed when the device is getting boot up, that can be interfaced using an I2C interface, and readily we will be providing the schematic to interface the RTC onto the device. Then you have an ADC input option. So direct, if you want some critical analog signal to be connected onto the OEM module, you have a direct ADC interface option also associated with the OEM module. And any vendor and proprietary interface options we can work out and support onto the OEM module. Most common protocol variants that is supplied with the modules, we will go one by one. So Modbus to 61850 with the GPIO for GOOSE. If you want a GOOSE timing requirement, and normally within 10 millisecond, the application requires 10 millisecond, even though the standard specify 3 to 4 millisecond, depending upon the application, you can have an achievement using the GPIO, general purpose IOs directly available onto the GOOSE. You can have the device support GOOSE also. So Modbus to 61850 plus GPIO directly interface for the GOOSE. This is the common protocol variant used in the industry. We have Modbus to DLMS COSM also in some of the metering requirement, whether when they want a direct updation to DLMS COSM. This is another key protocol variant. Then Modbus RTU to DNP3 Ethernet is one of the other requirement. Then Modbus RTU to 104 is another key requirement which we have been supplying. Then DNP3 to 61850, especially on the US market, this is one of the requirement that we are supplying. DNP3 to 104, this is also one of the key area. Then DLMS to COSM, DLMS COSM to Modbus RTU TCP, DLMS COSM to 61850, 101 to 61850. These are minor requirements, but we have been supplying this 103 to 61850. Then Modbus based custom data transfer and 61850 based MMS plus based MMS for exchanging the data from the Modbus plus SFTP. The disturbance record collection need to be done, and this need to be pushed over secure FTP to the central system. This is one of the other requirement that has come for us. Then Modbus to Modbus registers to CSV file, and this data need to be stored and pushed over the secure FTP to the central system. This is another key requirement that used to come. Then Modbus to 61850 and with the SNMP for network monitoring. This is another requirement that used. When multiple protocol combination, that is you can have multiple server, any of the combination above with a multiple support, multiple servers, that is you can have 61850 as well as DNP3. This is one of the requirement that is coming. So these are most common protocol which we supply, and this is with the PRP network redundancy. Latest requirement are coming, these protocol with the PRP based network redundancy also, that is also used. Then time synchronization options in the device, we have multiple time synchronization option. One of the key time synchronization is SNTP based server, that is client inside our device to get it synchronized from the service, SNTP based synchronization. Then other way around, to synchronize the other devices onto the network, SNTP servers are needed. So SNTP server as well as client we support. Then IEEE 1588 only available on 261, SYNC200, and this is a precision time protocol over Ethernet. You can have a synchronization. This is available on 261. Then NMEA is supported for time synchronization. It is a very primitive method for time synchronization, but if somebody needs this, This is also supported. Then protocol specific time synchronization, that is upstream protocol, that is server protocol 104 DNP3 or any other custom protocol specific synchronization, we also support that. Like if you have a Modbus master internally, Modbus protocol does not support a time synchronization, but we have a custom methodology to support the time synchronization, which we receive from SNTP and then sync your device over the Modbus, that is also supported. So this is key method. Now moving on to fast message GOOSE bus. So normally the signals taken are directly from the TTL port using Modbus or any other protocol, and this can be converted onto 61850 as reports and send it out. But this is not suitable for GOOSE timing requirement, because as per the standard it can go up to 3 to 4 milliseconds. But when you consider the application, at least it is needed to have a 10 millisecond range for transferring the GOOSE messages. So what we support is the general purpose IOs, we call it as a GP IOs, that can be directly associated with the OEM module, and that is direct IOs that can be associated with the fast message GOOSE bus to send associate the inputs directly to GOOSE publisher and output directly to GOOSE subscriber. So whenever there is a change, you can send it out as GOOSE, and whenever there is a GOOSE reception, we can set it on to the output directly to meet the timing requirement needed for GOOSE. So this is one of the key mechanism which we support in the OEM module for meeting GOOSE timing requirement. So normal, it is TTL port interface between SYNC200 and vendor devices that is used for the communication, but that is not sufficient for the GOOSE messages in 61850. So what we call it as a GPIOs are available up to 48 number, which is having a 3.3 volt input output signal directly can be associated, and level shifted can be used to support different voltage ranges onto the IOs, and that can be directly associated with the GOOSE messages. So this can be associated with the GOOSE publisher or subscriber, and GOOSE message can be directly linked with the IOs without using any serial communications. This is one of the key mechanism which we support as fast message GOOSE bus for having GOOSE timing requirement supported for the vendor. Now moving on to other feature, we also have a parallel redundancy protocol supported, sequence of event support, disturbance record collection, and all the security mechanisms supported. So parallel redundancy protocol as per 62439-3, and this is specified in edition 2 of 61850 standard for handling redundancy. So this is available on 261 with the 2 Ethernet port, and all the message you can configure it as a PRP. Then all the messages will be sent on both the Ethernet ports, and receiver can receive it on both the Ethernet port, and only the first message that is received will be accepted. The second message it can ignore. So this is providing a bumbless redundancy. When one of the network fail, the other network already has got the same messages coming through the other message. Then we also support a link aggregation LACP protocol, or the common terminology is a teaming or bonding. So this is another mechanism of supporting redundancy or putting more throughput onto the interface. So this is also supported in SYNC261 device. Then different SOE, sequence of event, fault file collection mechanism is supported. So in the vendor device, you can using the vendor IEDs is especially required on the vendor IEDs. So using the vendor interface, we can collect the disturbance and sequence of event and send it on to the through the Ethernet using secure FTP and other methodology or protocol or secure FTP method can be used to send these files out onto the upstream. Then security features are supported. NERC security compliant, completely security compliant is there. IEC62351 protocol is supported with the TLS 1.2 and other 62351 requirements are supported. Then if there is a VPN is needed, SSL based VPN with AES, DES and 3 DES encryption are supported. So these are some of the security features that is available. Then models and variants, SYNC200 models and variants. So we have a 221 is the low-end version with a copper Ethernet onboard support. Then 241 is it is a baseboard will be there, and a pluggable board is also there. So on the add-on board you can have a copper Ethernet. With the add-on board you can have a ST fiber Ethernet, or you can even have an LC fiber Ethernet on the add-on board. So you can have a baseboard, and depending upon the requirement you can plug the add-on board accordingly with the copper ST or LC and supply to the one. Then 261 has got a 2 copper Ethernet plug-in add-on board is available with the 261. It is a 2 Ethernet version, and we are coming up with that 2 fiber optic Ethernet plug-in version in future. So these are multiple OEM model variants which, depending upon the form factor and the requirement of different features, vendor can choose which one. Then moving on to 221, this is 200 megahertz processor with up to 16 GPIOs are supported for the GOOSE, and the dimension, the form factor is very minimal. So it is 45 into 40 into 21.6 mm dimensions, and this can be low form factor variant of SYNC200 that can be used in the vendor. Moving on to 241, as we have mentioned, it is a baseboard and a pluggable option is there. So copper Ethernet variant, ST fiber Ethernet, LC fiber Ethernet, and also we have an onboard copper Ethernet version is also there. This is having, since it is a baseboard and pluggable board is there, the dimensions are 63, 55 and 18, and it can support up to 48 GPIOs. This is a speciality, so you can have a more flexibility for the IOs. For example, you can have a 32 DI and a 16 DO. That is a common requirement on any vendor devices for the high fast message inputs can be associated with that. So this is one of the key board which is most selling board with respect to the features and other things. Then 261, it is a very high-end board, 600 megahertz is there, 2 Ethernet ports is there, 2 copper Ethernet ports are there, up to 48 GPIOs are there, and the essential thing is it supports a PRP network redundancy, and also it is having a time synchronization option through the Ethernet based interface, that is IEEE 1588 or precision time protocol is supported onto this device. So this is one of the key feature which is available now, and all the new gen devices are moving ahead with the 261 because of the PRP support and other 600 mega higher processing capability. This is newly launched board with the latest things supported based upon 650. Then this is one of the mounting arrangement that is shown. So vendor device can be there, then its interface can be there, and it is interfaced onto the baseboard, and pluggable card with a 2 copper Ethernet interface can be over that. So this is the mounting arrangement that is shown for the device. We will be when you purchase the board, we will be providing the mechanical files, schematic and all other supported document for EC interface, including the premium support is provided. So you have a complete bumbless integration within 4 weeks time is that what we guarantee. Then configuration interface, this is a general tool which we use for configuring any of the SYNC200 devices, which we call it as a easy connect. So this can be used to have any mapping to 61850, DNP3 or 104, and we provide this tool as a vendor integratable option. With the DLL of this tool is provided, with the API and other support is there, so it can have a close integration with the vendor tools. So this is very much flexible in terms of configuration and other stuffs. Then moving on to development board, as I have mentioned earlier, the development board is very key in getting the device tested externally, vendor device tested externally before actual hardware integration take place. So we have multiple options on the development board with the 4 serial ports, full modem support on COM1. So these are externally provided to test it out. Dedicated console port, GPIO extension and LEDs are supported onto that. Then plug-in option for 211, 221 and 241, and separate board for 261 development board testing. Then onboard and external RTC option is there. Then wide power range for powering the board out. Then test points are there to test carrying out various tests. So this is a 200 development board with the IOs for testing the GPIO, then serial interface for connecting onto the vendor device and testing it out. This is a plugging option for the OEM boards, and Ethernet port can be taken out directly from that and then connected to the PC and carry out the test. So that is one of the key elements that is available in the development board. This is a 261 development board which is having similar interface to plug 261, multiple serial port, GPIO for testing the direct IOs onto the GOOSE, and different test points are also provided. Then application, we have been using this board for different application scenario. One of the key thing is IEC61850 adapter for a protection relays, meters and alarm annunciator. This is one of the key application in which this development, this OEM board has been in use. So this is protection relays, meters and alarm annunciator. Then 61850 adapter for RTU, PLC and controllers is another key requirement where they use the OEM board. Then communication adapter for the transformer, oil, dissolved gas and moisture monitoring system. So transformer monitoring system, the plug-in cards for updating the same to latest protocol. That is one of the key application area where we use OEM board for migration. Then communication adapter for fault passage indicator, capacitor banks and RMUs. This is another key area where this is used. Then breakers and switchgear, communication adapter for breakers and switchgear is another key area. Big power supply module, whether they in which they want to monitor it, and 61850 and SNMP are the requirement for this big power supply module to be monitored externally. So this is also we support. Same. Then SNMP and 61850 monitoring for network routers and switches. So pluggable card are needed onto that. So that is one of the other application where the OEM boards are used. Any other custom applications, there are requirement for custom application. We are also supplying to the requirements of custom application. So these are some of the key application areas where our OEM modules or SYNC200 series modules are in use, and we can support any of the application areas which are custom requirements also. So with this we are coming to end of this webinar series. Thank you for attending this session. You can contact on any of the mail IDs described here. It will be pleasure for supporting you on any of your queries. Thank you.